So most nomads and most people who can work remotely, or if they're retired and they live full-time on wheels, they travel with the weather. They travel to the southern hemisphere in the winter and the northern hemisphere in the summer. June 20th marks the beginning of summer in the northern hemisphere. June 20th, at least in 2021, as I make this video. So, in June, summertime, the northern states, it begins this warmer weather, this outdoor culture. And in the southern states, in the United States of America, or just the southern hemisphere, it gets very humid. It's very humid today in South Florida. And the weather takes a turn. In one sense, there's a lot more pleasant weather up north, and there's a lot more extreme, harsh weather down south. So many nomads, again, because they live on wheels, decide, well, in the summer, makes sense, I'll travel up north. And I've done that. I've done that for a year or so, as my 4 years being on the road full time. And, my biggest negative with traveling up north is if you want to stay by the beach, which I do, I think that's a major thing. Like when you go on your journey, you want to spend time in areas that inspire you. And for me to be inspired, I have to be by the beach. Okay. So the problem with that is as you go up north, if you hug the coast, the land mass gets more condensed. The population is closer together, and there's less room, and the beaches are packed. And so, while I would enjoy maybe a little bit of the break of the weather, right? I don't enjoy the crowds. I don't enjoy the congestion, the high density, the crowded stores, the traffic. And that's my biggest concern, because I've been thinking to myself, Sam, well, instead of really focusing on a home base, just travel back up north this summertime. Now, again, even up north in the summertime, once you get to the middle of July to the middle of August, it's going to be very hot no matter where you go. So you're not necessarily going to avoid heat. You're going to avoid some of the humidity as you go up north. But the problem is you're going to increase the crowds, the congestion. And that's something that I struggle with, because as I get older, I found that for my personality, I do better in a more relaxed setting where there's a little bit more open land, less congestion. I get less anxiety. The Starbucks is less crowded. The supermarket is less crowded. The gym's less crowded. Traffic is less crowded. Even when I'm in South Florida, I don't spend much time in the Miami area, right? Because it's too crowded. So I like to be, by populated areas, but I like to be a little bit in the cut, a little bit more relaxed feel, so that, again, I have room to just breathe and to, whatever. So I don't like to be in the middle of nowhere, but I like my space. I like my space. And so, that's a struggle if you have a similar personality to me. And I have come to find out that most people who live full-time on the road tend to be introverts. And introverts tend to like their space. They tend not to like crowds or social settings. Some are more extreme than others. There's a lot more extreme people than me. I can deal with it, but it's just not ideal. It's like in life, you can deal with things, but they may not be ideal. So, trying to figure out your best life is not just trying to figure out the best weather. It's trying to figure out the best overall environment, climate, culture, etc. So, I still struggle with that, because, again, I will admit, in many instances, the weather's better up north in the summer. And that's why nomads travel with the weather up north in the summer, down south in the winter. But the problem is that there's more to life than just weather. There is the culture, there is the crowds, there's the traffic, there's a lifestyle, that your day in, day out routines, right? What's a great day to me? To me, I'm able to wake up early. I'm able to be by the beach, able to go to a coffee shop, not be crowded, able to go to the gym, not be crowded, just do my thing, and so walk around, not be on top of people. So, you can change your weather, but you're also changing the culture. You're also changing the atmosphere. So that is something that I think I want to share with you, number one. Number two is, if you go on a nomadic journey, which I have shared in other videos, is that you're going to find out that you don't like to be just anywhere. You like to be in the areas that inspire you, because if you live on wheels, why would you want to be just anywhere? Certainly maybe in the beginning you just want to explore, but certainly as time goes on, again, I've been on the road 4 years, you don't want to be in areas that don't mean anything to you. Again, for me, for the area to mean something to me, I have to be by the beach. So I eliminate most of the states, most of the areas, because I'm a beach guy. Now, some people are a lake guy or girl. Some people are a mountain guy or girl. I'm a beach guy. So, if I'm going to be by the beach, there's only so many strips of land that have beach. And within those strips of land, there's only so much that have Starbucks, gyms, etc. So it's like, and what you find is most of those places are packed in the summer up north. And that's a dilemma. That's something you have to think about. That's something you have to experience. And, it's a fun experience. Like they say, enjoy the journey. Now, for me, the destination is still Florida. I'm still in Florida. It's the summer. But, I think about, Sam, are you just staying here to stay here? Well, no, because I could go up north. There's nothing holding me back. And there's some aspects of up north that I wouldn't mind experiencing again, But, I don't know if I get over the hurdle of experiencing the crowds, the congestion. You take the good with the bad. There's nothing perfect. So, there is something to be said too. Yeah, it is nice to see different things, even if you've seen them before. Keep a change of visual stimulation. That's all part of, living on the road, is that, even in a great area that you love with great weather, it is good to still go see different places, different towns or different states once in a while, to add that variety, to keep your mind stimulated, to keep your spirit creative. Because it is true that traveling bursts creativity. It's exciting, but it's also pain in the butt, because you get used to a certain area with certain coffee shops, certain supermarkets, and then you go to other areas and everything's just a little bit different. And while that's exciting, that's also painful, because that's a little bit of adapting. And, you get used to something a certain way, your coffee being made a certain way, the food being a certain way, the culture being a certain way. And you can't duplicate that anywhere you go. So you're going to have your preferences. And when you travel, your preferences are not always going to be consistent, because every town, every state is different. And that's something that the Nomad struggles with, I think, no matter what, even if you travel with the weather, because you're not going to take the same culture everywhere you go, the same environment. It's impossible. So, but either way, those are my thoughts as I sit here sweating in summertime in Florida. Very humid today. A lot of people have already traveled up north as snowbirds. And there's always a decision to be made by a nomad when you're not tied to anything. Every day is a decision. What do I want to do today? Do I want to go somewhere else? And that's very fun, but also is like, kind of like it never stops. So, how does it feel to have no house and to be a full-time nomad? Well, it's that. It's that, any day you can go anywhere, but you're going to find out that one is you're not always going to want to go anywhere, and two is if you're thinking it, other people are thinking it. And if other people are thinking it, then there's crowds there. So are you willing to deal with the crowds for whatever you're going to gain? Maybe you're going to gain better weather. Maybe you're going to gain whatever. So you have to think about that, pro and that con, that risk and that reward, that, should you do it or should you not, so. But that's kind of what I learned, again, being on the road full time, 4 years, being in different environments. And the biggest thing I can share with you, again, decide, do you want to be by the ocean? Do you want to be by the lake? Do you want to be by the mountains? Those are pretty much your three major terrains. And then, of course, the weather. You look at the 10-day forecast. And, of course, the culture, the only way to experience culture is to kind of visit. Even though you can do some research online, you got to kind of visit. Each place has its own energy, its own personality. There's no way around that. And everyone has their own personality, so you're going to like something different than everyone else. I may like something that you may not like. And you may like something that I may not like. So, it's like, that's why if I give a recommendation, right, if I give something that I'm excited about, you may not be. You have to experience it for yourself. You have to go on your journey. And so remember, in life, life is that journey. And hopefully my videos help you in some way. If they do, I appreciate if you click the thumbs up and click the blue join button if you like to support the channel. Check out my playlist, which has thousands of free videos of all my different experiences so far on the road and just in life. And I thank all my members. I thank everyone for watching. Keep showing up. Remember, if you do something, usually it's better than not doing anything. Manage your time, take care of your health, healthy relationships, because it's not worth living, in one sense of speaking, if you're going to be around people that it's just totally toxic for your soul. So that's the message in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.